everybody, today I'm going to show you my favorite recipe for making shortbread. It is the most delicious, buttery, crispy, yummy recipe I've ever made. I was on this shortbread kick after we got back from Scotland and I just had to find the perfect recipe, and this one comes out every single time as long as you follow these tips that I'm going to show you. I've made this so many times and I've tried to make shortcuts and do things like make a double batch and it just doesn't come out right. I have to make one batch one at a time. Maybe it'll work out for other people, but I've tried to do it and it just doesn't come out right. I'm gonna make some for my mom since they were gone for Mother's Day and she always likes my shortbread. I figured it'd be a good opportunity to show you this super easy recipe, and I hope that you make it too. It's great for bridal showers, baby showers, neighbor moving in next door, just because you want something with your coffee. It's a great easy recipe. So let me show you the simple ingredients. 1 whole stick of softened butter, 1 cup of unbleached flour, and then 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. And I also have some flavorings. You can either use vanilla, you can use whatever you like, vanilla, lemon. I've got some almond here, but today I'm gonna just use vanilla because my mom's a purist and likes the flavor of the butter in the shortbread. So what's so great about this recipe is that you can use any kind of flour. In a pinch I've used bread flour, whole wheat flour, whatever flour you have on hand. I think one time I even used cake flour and it came out okay. So you could also use, instead of powdered sugar, you can use white regular granulated sugar, any kind of sugar you have, and it's also come out very well too. But this is the original recipe and I like to stick to it as much as possible. So I'm just going to cream my butter over here in my mixer. And if you don't have a mixer, you can either do it by hand with a wooden spoon or with a hand mixer, and it'll also come out just fine like that too. I'm going to, just like any classic cookie recipe, I'm going to cream my butter and my sugar together until it's nice and smooth. Butter, powdered sugar. To be a nice soft pale yellow. I'm just going to scrape down the sides and make sure all that powdered sugar gets incorporated really nicely. Now I'm just going to add my vanilla. I do like a teaspoon and a half or so. Just, you know, give it a nice good vanilla flavor. Okay, and let that mix for another couple minutes. Just going to dump in the flour. You just dump it all in. You don't even have to sift it or anything. Just dump it in there and let it go. And as you can see, it's gonna get this like wet sand look to it, but you wanna mix it until it's really nice and smooth, like Play-Doh. So we're gonna continue to mix it a little bit more. Okay, so it looks like this when it's mixed nice and lovely. And it's not going to stick to the bowl too much because of all that butter. It's going to kind of stay in one ball. You know, it's like your usual thick cookie dough consistency. So you're just going to take this ball, which makes 1 pan of cookie dough for me, 1 pan of shortbread. Okay, so I have these special shortbread pans that I ordered from Amazon. They're made out of ceramic. And it's actually where I got the recipe from. And you can, if you don't have a shortbread pan like this, or you just don't feel like messing with it, you can roll this dough out and cut it out with cookie cutters. Cute little cookie cutters. Put them on a sheet pan. You can roll it out and, you know, make little triangles. But I chose to use this cute shortbread pan that has decorations of flowers, which is very mommy friendly. My mom likes flowers. I also make shortbread pans that are non-stick metal, which my mom has one, and I think I'm gonna ask for one for Christmas because that actually releases a lot better than the ceramic pans, I think, and it cooks better, in my opinion, in my oven. I've just sprayed my ceramic pan with some non-stick spray, and you're just gonna dump all that cookie dough in there. And it's going to be really sticky, so you just wet your hand and you're going to spread it around really well until it fills all the edges. Okay, so you just want to smooth it out as much as you can. Then I'm going to take a fork and just prick the back of it a little bit all over to release the water vapor that's going to be released from the butter that's cooking in the shortbread. There you go. And so you just want to pop this in the oven at 325 for 30 to 35 minutes. So this just came out the oven. So you're just going to go around and loosen the edge with a little butter knife here. Just a little bit. And if you sprayed it well enough, it probably should come right out. You want to let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes before you take it out of the pan. I'm just going to put my cutting board on top and flip it over. There you go. What I like to do is sprinkle some sugar on top to make it look really pretty and shiny. And if you want to cut it, it's best to cut it when it's warm, so that after it cools, it's going to harden like your usual shortbread cookie that's crispy. Alright. Okay, so now I've got them all packed up and ready to take to my mom's. Here's some helpful tips when your family decides that these are so delicious, they want you to make some for everybody and their family and their friends. So they want you to make it like in 2 days. They want like 6 pans of shortbread. So if you're making a big batch, I've found that it's easier to just do it one by one, one recipe at a time, instead of trying to double or triple it. I've done it before, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. And if you're in a rush and your butter's not soft enough, you can put it in the microwave for a little bit, but make sure your butter's not too soft, because that'll create really large air pockets and make your shortbread look really bubbly when it comes out, and it doesn't have that pretty design. And it just doesn't taste right. And if you like your shortbread to taste kind of like caramel, you can leave it in the oven for longer than 30 minutes and make sure it gets nice and crispy, and it'll harden almost like caramel on top, and that's really delicious too. These are really the biggest tips that I found, to make sure that you butter your pan really well or grease your cookie sheet really well if you have a design that you want to come out nicely. And I hope you make this for your next engagement or party that you're having or get together. It's really delicious and super easy. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.